Hmm.
You've handed us a stack of source material focused on, well, one of the most requested topics we get.
Oh, easily.
It's all about achieving genuine spoken English fluency and, maybe even more critically, confidence.
Right.
We're not here to, analyze grammar rules or figure out how to pass some tests. This is about the real goal.
Communicating without stress. Exactly.
Our mission today is to distill a specific 5-point blueprint that's in this research.
And what makes this approach so radical is that it shifts the entire focus away from the traditional methods.
Like what? The vocabulary lists, the formal classes.
All of it. It centers everything on clarity of thought and on your mindset. It basically argues that fluency is a psychological victory long before it's a linguistic one.
Okay, let's unpack this right away, because the speaker's hook, it just challenges everything we think we know about language skills.
It really does.
They state pretty openly that despite what people think of as their good English, their vocabulary isn't actually that vast.
Mm-hmm. Which is fascinating.
They say the secret sauce isn't knowing complex words. The real skill is having, maximum clarity of thought and the confidence to get it out there.
And this philosophy is so strong, they actually tested it. They applied these exact same tricks to improve their spoken Hindi.
Which just proves the blueprint is universal, right? It can work for any language.
That transference is key. And, if we're going to follow a new path, we have to clear the old one.
Okay.
So the material immediately dismisses the typical, and let's be honest, often intimidating advice we all hear.
Right. Throw out the idea of watching high-level news broadcasts.
Forget formal classes that just sap your enjoyment.
Yeah.
And stop trying to imitate these super verbose speakers.
They even mentioned Shashi Tharoor as, an unrealistic goal.
An example, yeah.
It's a powerful statement right there. People chase complexity, but the speaker is basically saying, if you do that, you'll just sound inauthentic.
And overwhelmed. So if that's all out, what's the fundamental first step?
Well, the foundational principle is simple, but it's completely non-negotiable. To learn any language, you must enjoy the process. If it feels like homework, you're going to fail.
You'll just give up.
Exactly. So it has to be a habit you look forward to, and the blueprint is very specific here.
How specific?
You need to engage with the language for a minimum of 15 minutes every single day.
Mm-hmm. And ideally, they suggest working up to an hour, right?
Ideally, yeah. Up to an hour daily to really embed those language pathways.
So how do we make those first 15 minutes genuinely enjoyable so it doesn't just turn into another chore?
That brings us to step 1, the 3 fun solutions. What content are we actually supposed to be consuming?
It has to be low pressure. It has to be fun. The first option, and the one they call the easiest way, is easy video content.
And we're talking really simple stuff here.
Oh, yeah. They specifically recommend watching talking cartoons.
For kids.
Media designed for small children, yes. The language is predictable, the pace is slow, and the visual context, it helps you understand without translating in your head.
That is the classic counterintuitive move, though. You're an adult trying to master a difficult skill, and the advice is to go watch a cartoon. A lot of learners are going to feel like they're too old for that, or that it's beneath them.
And that sense of ego is the very barrier this material wants to dismantle right away.
Ah!
You have to drop the pretense. You have to recognize that simple content is brilliant at teaching fundamental sentence structure and rhythm.
Which is exactly what the speaker says is missing. It's not the vocabulary.
Precisely. The predictability is the building block you need. Now, if cartoons are truly unbearable for you,
Right.
the sources offer 2 alternatives. The second is audio content, like simple radio or podcasts. And the third is reading.
But simple rating, I assume?
Again, stick to simplicity. They suggest picking up a 10th standard ICSE textbook
Why that specifically?
because it's full of short, straightforward stories that are designed for language acquisition, not for, advanced literary analysis.
Okay, so that sets the habit. But before we even get to step 2, the blueprint throws a huge curveball that redefines the entire goal.
And this is step 5, right? The mindset shift.
Yes, the most crucial one. It's to
Yeah.
stop giving English that much importance.
This is where the cultural critique comes in, and it's a deep dive into the psychology of the learner, especially in a culture like India.
Yeah.
The speaker points out this huge societal flaw, this link people make between fluent English and
Or
intelligence,
social status.
or status, yeah. They call it a flawed mentality
Yeah.
implanted by 2 centuries of British rule. It left behind this belief that your English proficiency is a measure of your worth.
And it's fascinating because it reframes the whole problem. It's not a personal failing, it's a societal, historical hangover.
Exactly. And this mentality is pretty unusual globally.
Totally. In Japan, being fluent in Japanese is what matters. In Germany, it's German.
Right. The speaker argues for a fierce pride in one's own native languages, Marathi, Hindi, Tamil, whatever it is. English is just a tool, nothing more.
And the practical application of this shift is, well, it's immediately liberating for the learner.
How so?
The material encourages you to shed the pressure of being perfect. If you're speaking English and you get stuck, if you can't find the right word, you're encouraged to just complete the sentence in Hindi or your native language.
Wait a minute, isn't that just a crutch, though? If the goal is English fluency, won't you just keep falling back on your native language instead of pushing through?
That's a fair challenge, but the philosophy here suggests it's the opposite. The goal at this stage is building confidence and flow.
Flow, okay.
That brief shift lets your brain complete the thought. It avoids that mental freeze-up that happens when you're trying to translate word for word.
So it's about keeping the conversation moving.
Yes. The material says that completing the thought, even in a blended way, maintains that flow, builds your confidence, and it teaches your brain that communication is possible even if it's not linguistically pure.
I see. It's about communicative success over linguistic purity.
Exactly. So that establishes the habit and the right mindset. Now we can get into the mechanics of improvement, which is step 2.
Active observation and construction.
Right. Once that daily habit is locked in, the active learning can finally begin.
And the main goal here is definitively not vocabulary expansion.
Okay, so you're consciously putting off learning new, complicated words.
Completely. The focus has to be entirely and aggressively on sentence construction, how the pieces are put together.
Let's break that down because most learners automatically think improvement means adding more words. What is the difference between mastering vocabulary and mastering construction?
Think of it like this. Vocabulary is knowing the names of all the parts, the bricks, the windows, the doors.
Okay.
Construction is knowing the blueprint. It's knowing how to put the bricks together so the wall doesn't fall down.
Right. You might know a fancy word, but if you can't build a sentence around it,
Then it's useless. The material points out that speakers often directly translate their native syntax into English. That's where the big construction errors come from.
so the practice is using those simple cartoons or stories and just observing. Spotting the difference between their syntax and my own internal translated one.
Precisely. It requires active, engaged listening, not passive viewing.
And what do you do when you spot a difference?
Every single time you notice a grammatical difference or a unique English structure, you have to make a mental note. And if it's a mistake you know you make,
Yeah.
the advice is to practice it right then. The speaker is very specific. Say the corrected sentence or phrase 10 times to yourself.
10 times just to really drill it in.
It rewires that construction pathway.
Okay.
And that structural learning has to come first.
Right. The material is very firm on the sequence. You master understanding spoken English and basic sentence construction first.
Only then do you start adding layers of vocabulary. Get the foundation right before you start decorating.
That makes the whole process feel logical, actionable, but the moment you start practicing out loud, you hit that psychological wall.
Which brings us to step 3. Put your ego on the side.
The fear of judgment is huge, and it's amplified by that cultural thing we talked about. If your English is poor, you fear you'll be seen as unintelligent.
This step offers a crucial psychological judo move to reframe all that criticism.
A judo move. I like that.
The belief is that if someone makes fun of your English, they are not really making fun of you.
Oh.
They are often just making fun of an insecurity inside themselves. It's a way to boost their own ego, born out of their own hang-ups about their language skills.
That is a powerful defense mechanism. It just strips the critic of all their power, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Their judgment becomes a projection of their weakness, not proof of your inadequacy.
And that allows you to move past your own arrogance, your own gamand, and actually embrace the mistakes.
Exactly. The speaker notes that if people correct you or laugh, the emotional weight of that moment ensures you'll remember the correction for the rest of your life.
It becomes a permanent learning moment.
It accelerates your improvement. The core advice is very firm. You shouldn't care what people think. You should care about becoming the best version of yourself.
Excellent. So with the ego checked, we can finally address the mechanical bottleneck of speaking. Step 4.
Chase clarity of thought.
Right. Why do people stumble and speak slowly even when they know the words?
It's because the mind is clogged. It's clogged with secondary processes.
The fear of log kia kahenge. What will people think?
That and the slow, really taxing process of word-for-word translation from their native language.
It's like a speed bump in your thought process.
It is. The brain is doing two jobs at once. Thinking the thought and then trying to find the perfect English word for every part of it. It kills fluency.
So the problem isn't the mouth or your vocabulary. It's the mental clutter blocking the path from thought to speech.
That's it, exactly.
So what's the counterintuitive solution here? It can't be another grammar book.
It's the most surprising part of the whole blueprint, meditation.
Meditation for spoken fluency. How does sitting quietly clear the path for conversational English?
The material claims there is nothing more effective for clearing the mind, for grounding your thought process, and for achieving true clarity of thought.
And when the mind is clear,
The underlying thought, the actual message you want to communicate, becomes crystallized. And when the thought is clear, even simple words just flow out effortlessly.
so you're saying that by slowing down your overall thinking process with meditation, you bypass that translation wall that so many speakers hit.
Yes.
The goal isn't better English, the goal is better thinking.
That
Think smart.
Learn deeper.
Grow stronger.
This is
BeSmartMaxx.
BeSmartMaxx.